Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 19. I'm your host, Rashad Mitchell, coming to you live on Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyles, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's great to be back once again for another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell. Let's get into the update on the NFL game that's going on right now. New York Football Jets are winning 7-0 in the second quarter, and Rodgers threw a touchdown pass to Lazard for a touchdown, and they lead 7-0, but they got a chance to go up 14-0. They got a third and goal right now. They score on a 10-yard touchdown pass from Alan Lazard from 10 yards out. They just scored a touchdown. Brees Hall scored a touchdown, so it's 13-0. So we're gonna see what the plays was reversed. So it looks like it's not gonna stand. It looks like right now the Jets got a drive going right now. Um, They got the ball at the 15-yard line, first and 10, on a 13-play, 91-yard drive. So I don't think this touchdown is going to stand. I think it's been a reversal. It's timeout called by. Um, it's a timeout call with 8:32 to go. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe there's a challenge or something like that, but it was like the touchdown is not going to stand as of right now. So right now it's 13-0, but it may not be holding up. So I give you updates on that during the show. But let's get into the college football. Review the college football from last week, um, for week number 4, excuse me, week number 3 last week. What stood out last week basically was Florida State. I think with Florida State doing what they dealing with right now, they 0-3 right now. So far this season, strange, uncharted territory, something that they're not used to being 0-3 in college football, especially due to what they've done throughout the years, through the Bobby Bowden years, through the Jimbo Fisher years. They had a lot of success, those two coaches, but there's something going on with Florida State is just not as good as they used to be. And they falling off the face of Europe. They're not as good. They lost to Memphis 20-12 at home. At home, they lost 20-12 at home, man. There's something going on at Tallahassee, man. Something missing. The quarterback obviously is not playing well. Quarterback DJ Ugalele, he's not doing it. He's not living the goods. They don't have enough weapons on the outside. Wide receiver, obviously lost Johnny Woodson. They lost Keon Coleman. They lost a lot of players. That's gonna happen. But you think Florida State at that institution with the resources that they have, they should be able to have top talent where they can be competitive for a national championship and a playoff. And for them to be 0-3 is this a shocker to me. That's the thing that stood out. They 0-3. It's rare to see Florida State 0-3 so far this season. I think the only thing that stand out also was Kentucky and Georgia. That matchup where Kentucky almost beat Georgia, almost knocked them off. They snapped that long winning streak that they had going into this game for us, the regular season winning streak at 41. It went to 42. They had to win barely 13-12 in Kentucky. So their win streak remains alive. Again, you're not gonna vote teams out, but this was a shocker to see, them struggle against the Wildcats team that they're supposed to beat and dominate on both sides of the ball. And that's the thing about it. So they're favored by 21.5 points, and they won the game. They won the game by 1 point, and he was able to win this game 13-12. So that was a shocker. That almost became an upset, definitely upset of the year thus far. So now Georgia has beaten Kentucky 15 straight times, and but they had to do it the hard way. It was a tough game for them to win on the road, and they was able to hang on. But it did cost them because number one team in the country is now Texas. Texas is now the number one team in the country. So Georgia is number 2 due to the ineffectiveness and the way they play, their style of play. Their performance against Kentucky on the road was not impressive, and that's what happens in college football. You have to impress the posters. You gotta be impressive, you gotta be dominant in dominant fashion. And they were supposed to win by 3 touchdowns and only won by 1 point, 13-12. So that was a big surprise last week. So next time Georgia's gonna play, it will be against Alabama on September 28th. rematch of the SEC championship game. So it look like Georgia has a bye week. They're not going to be playing this week. So they had their winning streak intact. They won 42 consecutive regular season games in a row, which is something that is no special. So Georgia held on for dear life. They got to play better. They got to play better. I mean, they got to play better in order to uh, beat the University of Alabama. They're gonna have to really, bring the A game against them. So that's gonna be a great match. It's gonna be like the game of the year. That last Saturday in September, Georgia versus Alabama. That's gonna be a great, football game to watch. Both teams gonna be ranked in the top four, so that's gonna be a great one. So it wasn't that many like upsets compared to the week before. I think everything went to plan. Notre Dame bounced back. They blew out Purdue. Uh, Miami took care of their business, winning against Ball State 62-0. So they was able to keep on playing high level football. The only problem with Miami is that they haven't beaten anybody good. Florida lost to Texas A&M, so they got two losses. So when you look at University of Miami, they have not played anybody tough yet. I don't think they're gonna play a ranked team no time soon. They got their schedule. They got to play South Florida. They could be on upset alert possibly. I think they'll get a W, but they got to play Virginia Tech next Friday at home to open up ACC play. This ACC is not that good, man. Look at Florida State; they're not good. Clemson is not as good. I don't know about North Carolina, but right now Miami looks good. Right now, just gotta stay focused and keep playing at a high level. But I'm trying to look up this Georgia winning streak in the regular season. I think it's 42 right now. They beat Kentucky for his winning streaks, for his regular season winning streak. I'm trying to look that up to be accurate because I want to be factual with this information. I love stats. I love statistics. That's what the show is going to be by at times. I give you some stats that stands out. But that was no huge win for Georgia because they never lose in the regular season. Man, they always win in the regular season. You never see them get picked off. They almost lost to Kentucky this past week, but they was able to get it done. But they're gonna be truly tested when they play the University of Alabama next week. So I'm trying to look into that. How many wins, how many games they've won in the regular season. They gotta be 42 in a row. Yeah, they gotta be 42 in a row. That's what it looks like. Yeah, 42 straight. So also they set a record and see a new SEC winning streak record in the SEC that they beat Kentucky. So now they've won 28 straight regular season SEC games. That's the thing that's impressive about this Georgia program is that they play in a tough conference because when you have Oklahoma and Texas added to the conference, that makes it even more tougher. It's already a tough conference as it is, but when you win 28 straight consecutive regular season wins in games, in the SEC play, that's a record. They set a new conference record for the conference, winning 28 straight consecutive games in the regular season in the SEC. Previous record was by Alabama. They had won like 27 regular season conference games at one point. Also, this is their 42nd Yeah, 42nd regular season win overall. They're 45-2 the last 47 games. Now think about this: if they did not lose to Alabama in last year's SEC championship game, Georgia would be close to approaching the all-time winning streak. Overall, it's 47. Look at that; it's so far stood for 65 years. And the thing about Georgia they have not lost a regular season game. Check this out: since November 7th, 2020, they lost to Florida Gators, number 18 in the country, 44-28. They haven't lost since. Now again, they gotta go to Alabama next Saturday, on September 28th. They gotta play at Texas, October 19th, and at Ole Miss, November 5th. So they're gonna be truly tested. So they're gonna have a bye week this week. They're not playing for week number 4. They off this week, but they'll be back for that showdown. Get ready for that showdown in Tuscaloosa in week 5 against Alabama. That's gonna be a dynamite of a game. I mean, that's gonna be wonderful, wonderful game. So that's what stood out with Georgia, man, holding on for dear life and beating University of Kentucky, capturing their 42nd consecutive win in the regular season, also 28 straight in the regular season, as far as SEC players concerned. Okay, back to the Jets. That touchdown stands, so it's 14-0 Jets. I'm not surprised with this. Jets, got off to a slow start, obviously, against the 49ers, but they won last week against the Titans, against the NFL soon, but this is not a surprise. It's 14-0 Jets. They winning, so they supposed to beat the Patriots. No Tom Brady, obviously no Bill Belichick, new head coach. They're supposed to win this game. See if they hold on. Okay, let's get back to the NCAA recap last week in week 3. Like I said, the scores, man, like there not wasn't that many upsets. Now LSU could have got upset by University of South Carolina. They won 36-33. When you look at these matchups, there's not that was no upsets to me by what I see. I say Florida State, but they're not as good. They 0-3. They don't have a win yet. It looks like in the top 25, there's no major upsets. Alabama handled their business, blew out Wisconsin 42-10. Um, Michigan barely beat Arkansas State 28-18. You know, they could have blew them out, but they only won by 10. But win's a win for Michigan. Now they're gonna be tested, obviously, when they play USC this weekend. Um, Impressive win by Missouri. They beat Boston College 27-21. Oregon beat their arch rival, the Oregon State Beavers, 49-14. Maybe their best performance of the season. They've been struggling though. They won 37-34 against Boise State. Week before that, they barely beat Idaho, all teams 24-14. So they was able to definitely put on their best performance of the season by far. Dylan Gabriel, he threw 2 touchdown passes, 291 yards, 20 of 24, very efficient. So they definitely played at a higher caliber level on the offensive end, especially. They had 546. There was a total offense, a complete game. So like I said, I don't see no upsets like in the top 25 to say, okay, this is a major upset compared to the week before. Notre Dame losing and teams, Iowa, uh, Kansas and stuff like that. Those teams losing. Kansas State looked really good against Arizona, ranked opponent versus ranked opponent. They won 31-7. Number 14 versus number 20 kind of matchup, and Kansas State won that game. All right, so let's look at the picks of the week. How I did, I think I was undefeated. I think I was 5-0. Overall, I'm 15-4 with the picks of the week, so I'm doing pretty good right now. Let's look at the recap of that. See what I had last week to win. Week 3, I had Alabama over Wisconsin. I was correct on that. I went Oregon over Oregon State, Miami over Ball State, Georgia over Kentucky, Missouri over Boston College. So I was 5-0. So far, I am 15-4 on the season. On to a pretty good start so far with the college football picks. So we see what happens this week. So this week I got very terrific games, some terrific matchups as we move forward into the fourth week of the college football season. So let's do a recap on that. Let me do an overview on that. Again, compared to what happened in week two, there were a lot of upsets. Obviously, Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois. You had Iowa losing. Kansas, they lost to Illinois. The upsets like that took place, that transpired last week. But in week three, only surprise, yeah, seeing Florida State lose, even though they don't have a no winning record. It's still surprising that they're continuing to struggle from an offensive standpoint. That was no shocking to me. But overall, there was no like serious upsets in the top 25 compared to a week ago. Okay, so now the score with Jets and the Patriots is 14-3. So they got on the scoreboard 3:56 to go in the second quarter. You see, yeah, it's Florida State losing to Memphis 20-12. And the offense has been totally atrocious, man. But this quarterback of Memphis made a difference, man. They 3-0. Seth Hennigan threw two touchdown passes, and he threw for 272 yards, two touchdowns, and this is the 4th straight game he tossed a touchdown pass. Didn't know that. So this quarterback is playing really good. This Ukulele just not getting it done. I mean, 12 points. Florida State just don't have the same weapons that they used to have. All right. So let's look at the overview for the games that's going to be played this weekend, especially in the top 25 for week four. Let's move ahead. Games to keep your eyes on definitely is without question. So a lot of good games this week. USC versus Michigan. You got some two, blue bloods going at it. That's going to be a great game to watch because USC's now they part of the Big Ten, so that's going to be a very interesting game. Maybe a make or break game for Michigan. So keep your eyes on that game. You got Tennessee versus Oklahoma, where Oklahoma's playing an SEC opponent. Obviously, they part of the SEC. Oklahoma, Tennessee's red hot right now. Their quarterback Nico is playing at a high level. Number 6 versus number 15, so that's going to be a great matchup as far as that's concerned. Keep your eyes on that. Number 6 versus number 15. That's at 7:30 p.m. Utah versus Oklahoma State. Number 12 versus number 14. That's a good game. Um, even at UCLA and LSU, no interesting game. Keep your eyes on that. So we got a few games that's interesting. Even tomorrow night, you got Illinois 24, number 24 against number 22 Nebraska. Uh, battle of two unbeaten teams, 3-0. That's a good game. So keep your eyes on that. Let's look at the Illinois Nebraska matchup for tomorrow. Let's look into that. It's Nebraska's first top 25 matchup at home since 2013. So it's been a long time coming for those who are Cornhusker fans out there. It's the first time Nebraska has this kind of spotlight. On Fox tomorrow night. This will be a good game. And what's at stake is Illinois is out to their best start since 2011, and Nebraska's out to their best start since 2016. So they're looking really good. So this is the first home game where they're hosting the team from the top 25. So keep up with the key matchup in this matchup tomorrow night. The Illinois wide receivers, keep your eyes on them. against the Nebraska Cornhuskers cornerbacks. Pat Bryant and Zachary Franklin are big play threats. So they will challenge Tommy Hill and Marquise Buford Jr. for that Cornhuskers secondary. So keep your eyes on that because Illinois have 10 pass plays of at least 20 yards. Huskers, meanwhile, they're going to be committed to the run, to stopping the run, keeping the mobile Luke Altmaier of Illinois from getting loose, which means Hill and Buford often will be in one-on-one coverage. Players to watch is running back of Illinois, Caden Fegan. He's 6'3", 250 pounds. Big time running back, like straight jumbo size ball carrier that the Cornhuskers defense will face. The Huskers did face 6'4", 230-pound Ty Edwards from Northern Illinois, who ran for 37 yards against the Huskers last week. When you look at Fegan, he's a very important part of this offense. He's averaging 58 yards per game through 3 games in a system that uses 3 or 4 running backs. So they got a lot of depth at running back. So keep your eyes on the running defense of Nebraska against the rushing offense of Illinois. For Nebraska, keep your eyes on quarterback Dylan Rayola. He's lived up to the hype. He's a 5-star recruit. Um, Looking good under the system led by and orchestrated and coordinated by offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield's system. He's completing 74% of his passes. He's averaging 223 yards per game through the air. He's thrown 5 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Also, this would be Nebraska's 400th consecutive sellout. It's an ongoing NCAA record. Illinois has its highest ranking since November 6, 2022, when it was ranked number 21. The Huskers, meanwhile, have outscored 3 opponents by a combined score of 51-0 in the second quarter. In 2023, Nebraska was outscored 81-66. So see the transition, the progression of this program of Nebraska from last year to this year. Nebraska also has allowed just the 1 first quarter touchdown in the past 10 games. Illinois cornerback Xavier Scott has 3 interceptions the past 2 games, including pick 6, and he's the only player in the nation to force 3 turnovers in a game versus Kansas. So that's an interesting stat. So let's keep it moving. Look at this at this USC Michigan matchup, man. This is gonna be a great matchup, man. 2 blue bloods, national championships, Heisman Trophy winners, man. This is just a big time game. So what you keep eyes on this matchup is for Michigan. They're gonna start Alex Orji, 6'3", 235-pounder. He's gonna be starting. So keep your eyes on him. But the quarterback for USC, keep your eyes on him. He's definitely off to a pretty good start. Miller Moss. Um, at quarterback, he threw for 378 yards and a touchdown in the win against LSU. 229 yards passing the score against Utah State. So keep your eyes on him at quarterback. Question is also for Michigan is will Colston Loveland, the preseason All-American tight end, will he play this coming Saturday? But if he's out, that's a big blow for the Wolverines. So he's dealing with an undisclosed injury. So we see what happens with that. Also of note is Michigan has a winning streak of 25 straight wins in the Big Ten. They won 25 straight consecutive wins in the Big Ten, including 3 for the conference championships. And the Wolverines have been ranked for 50 straight weeks since early in the 2021 season. If they lose, their run of the AP in the AP top 25 may come to an end. So if they lose, it may be bounced out of the top 25. Also, when you look at Anthony Lucas, defensive end, 6'5", 275-pounder, I'll keep your eyes on Michigan trying to stop him from wreaking havoc in the backfield. This is a great matchup, terrific matchup. USC versus Michigan. UCLA and LSU, that's a good game. Um, Utah versus Oklahoma State, that's a good game. Let's look into Tennessee versus Oklahoma. because Oklahoma will be hosting number 6 Tennessee in its first ever SEC conference game. Okay, keep your eyes on this game. What's at stake is that Oklahoma will make its SEC debut in a game that already had been scheduled. This will not only be Tennessee's league opener, but Coach Josh Heupel's first time coaching the Vols against the program he led to the 2000 national championship as quarterback. Also, Oklahoma coach Brent Venables was the co-defensive coordinator on that team. The winner gets a nice strength of schedule win, the race for the SEC title, as well as a potential berth in the college football playoff. Now, the key matchup in this matchup to keep your eyes on is the Tennessee's defense against the Oklahoma's offensive line. The Volunteers have not allowed an offensive touchdown in 16 straight quarters over 4 games. That's the third longest streak in school history. It's the longest streak since going 18 consecutive quarters, go back to 1965, 1966. Tennessee is also second nationally in holding opponents to 160.7 yards per game, which is about what Oklahoma has averaged with a middling 4.34 yards per carry. Players to watch: Tennessee quarterback Nico Amaliva. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but he's 6'6", quarterback from Long Beach, California. He's going to be making his first career start. His third away from Neyland Stadium. He's 4-0 as a starter with 2 victories over ranked opponents. And this will be the first true road test for him as a starter in his SEC debut. He has thrown for 698 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's averaging 232.7 yards per game. And the Volunteers have outscored their opponents 226-13 in his starts. For Oklahoma, keep your eyes on Taylor Tatum, the running back, true freshman, who's one of the nation's top recruits. And it's why that's the case, because he scored 2 touchdowns last week against Tulane, one receiving, one rushing. He has 15 carries for 102 yards. His load likely will increase this week. Oklahoma will try to bring more energy into an offense that's very inconsistent. Tennessee has won 5 straight games dating back to November. The Volunteers have outscored opponents 191-13 to start the season. The point differential was the largest in SEC history in 3 games and second most by an FBS team, the AP poll era, which dates back to 1936. The Volunteers have scored at least 50 points in each of their first 3 games, the second time in program history, first since 1913. The Volunteers are 24-2, winning 18 straight wins when rushing for at least 200 yards. They have run for at least 200 yards in 4 straight games. So they have a very well-balanced attack, running the ball and throwing it. Oklahoma defensive end R. Mason Thomas had 3 sacks in the fourth quarter last week against Tulane. Oklahoma receiver Deion Burks is second in the SEC with 22 catches. Very terrific matchup to keep your eyes on. That's the slate of games to look at. Now it's time to look at my picks of the week, where I have this week in college football. I'll make a trends to the NFL. See, I have Miami over South Florida, USC over Michigan, Tennessee over Oklahoma, Nebraska over Illinois, and Oklahoma State over Utah. Those are my picks of the week. See what happens. Those picks. Also look at Miami. This could possibly be upset alert, possibly. Before I get into the National Football League recap of last week's uh, week 2 matchups and stuff like that, it was a very bizarre, very upsetting, riddled uh, week. Man, there's a lot of surprising, results, a lot of surprising wins. Certain teams that I didn't expect to have win. Tuned into these matchups this past week. But when you look at Miami versus South Florida, keep your eye on this game. This could be a possible upset. I think Miami will win. I haven't been pulling my picks away again. I got Miami over South Florida, USC over Michigan. I got Tennessee over Oklahoma. I got Oklahoma State over Utah. Go back to it again. Nebraska over Illinois. That game is tomorrow night. So that's narrowed that. As I keep moving forward, this game is interesting because what's at stake is that Miami's seems to finish what will be a perfect 4-0 record in non-conference games. plus a third win against a Sunshine State opponent already this season because they beat Florida A&M, Florida. I trying to beat South Florida. South Florida has a chance to beat a top 10 team for the first time in nearly 17 years. The Bulls are 0-8 in such games since topping then number 5 West Virginia 21-13 on September 28th in 2007. Now the key matchup in this matchup between Miami and South Florida is keep your eyes on Miami's ball carriers versus the ball hawks of South Florida. The Bulls have already shown that they're excellent at knocking footballs loose this season. They got 5 takeaways off fumbles in the season's first 3 games. The Hurricanes know they have to protect the ball, so keep your eyes on that. Players to watch: left tackle Jalen Rivers of Miami. He's back after 2 game absence with a neck injury. His experience is going to be needed against South Florida's stout defensive front. He's the key to blocking and protecting quarterback Cam Ward. For South Florida, keep your eyes on dual threat quarterback Byram Brown. Won't be the highest profile player on the field, but he's just as important to the Bulls as was to Miami because the junior Byron Brown was one of just 2 FBS players to throw for over 3,000 yards while running for 800 plus last season. So the other was Jaden Daniels, Ivan Trophy winner. So through 3 games so far this year, Brown has thrown 448 yards and 2 touchdowns without an interception. He's also have rushed for a team leading 254 yards and a pair of scores. Now look at Cam Ward. He's 89 yards passing. He's 89 passing yards away from 15,000 in his college career, including playing at Incarnate Word and Washington State. The teams met 6 times from 2005 to 2013 until now haven't played since. They'll play at Miami in 2025 and 2028. South Florida scored 23 points in its lone win over Miami back in 2010. Miami's 5 wins over South Florida is the Bulls average 10 points. South Florida has lost 18 consecutive games against top 25 opponents. The Bulls' last win over a ranked team was on October 28th, 2016, a 52-45 win over number 22 Navy. Miami has outscored opponents by 133 points so far this season. This is the third best differential nationally, entering the week behind Tennessee and Ole Miss. The Bulls, who have already faced Alabama, lost 42-16, will be one of the 2 teams to already face 2 top 10 opponents this season. Kent State, which plays number 10 Kent State on Saturday, is the other. Right, so let's get into the National Football League recap. Give you a quick update on the Patriots and the Jets for Thursday Night Football. Right now, the Jets got the ball at the New England 27-yard line, 2nd and 10 with 24 seconds left. Jets lead 14-3. Let's look at a bizarre week 2, man. Just crazy. Obviously, the Bills beat the Dolphins last week 31-10. Bills looking good right now. No one receiver that stands out, but what stood out in this matchup was the running game of James Cook. He ran for 3 touchdowns, 78 yards. No, 2 touchdowns. Excuse me, 2 touchdowns, uh, including a 49-yard touchdown. No, matter of fact, yeah, 3. Oh, he called a touchdown pass. So overall, he had 3 touchdowns. He had a big game. Again, Josh Allen just spreading the wealth. 13 of 19, very efficient, 139 yards, but effective, and he was able to handle their business and win 31-10 over over Miami Dolphins and go to 2-0. So he ran for 2 touchdowns, James Cook, and he called a touchdown pass. Right, so let's get into the Sunday's game. Again, the strangest week I've seen in a long time, man. We're going to start with the Ravens. The Ravens had a 23-13 lead against the Raiders and lose the game 26-23. What's going on with the Ravens? They're 0-2 right now. Facing a must-win situation against the Dallas Cowboys this coming Sunday. So it's going to be a very interesting game. Um, the Vikings, man, beat the 49ers 23-20, 23-17. What's going on with the 49ers? They never play well in Minnesota. That's 8 straight losses inside Minnesota. They don't play well whenever they step on the field and face them. They never play good. They never play a good game, a solid game, whenever they meet. 97-yard touchdown pass from Sam Darnold to Justin Jefferson. And Sam Darnold is playing well. It's like he revolutionized and revitalized his career and resurrected his career under the tutelage of Kevin O'Connell or whoever it is that's coaching him, offensive coordinator, whatever it is, the coach, whatever it is, they're doing something to make this guy successful. And Obviously, the 49ers didn't have Christian McCaffrey. Uh, he was out with an injury. But something going on with the 49ers whenever they play the Vikings. They never played well against them. They lost, again, 8 straight times in Minnesota. They haven't won a game in Minnesota. You gotta go back to 1992. So it's something about the 49ers and the Vikings where they just don't play good football, especially when they play at the Vikings. So maybe they just need to take the Vikings off their schedule and play them in Santa Clara. Play San Francisco will be at home because they don't play well when they play the Vikings from that perspective. So 8 straight losses for them. It's amazing to see something like that towards having a losing streak take place against these two teams. And they need Christian McCaffrey back. Yes, Jordan Mason ran for 100 yards, but they want to win the Super Bowl. They're gonna need Christian McCaffrey in the lineup. Also, George Kittle. This is 100th career game that he played in, despite losing the game. Yeah, Mason's playing good. No 100 yards rushing, 20 carries, but they need Christian McCaffrey in the lineup. Simple as that. I mean, with this win that the Vikings had against the 49ers, extended the winning streak. I believe 8 straight against the 49ers whenever they play San Francisco at home. Yeah, San Francisco lost for the 8th straight time in Minnesota. In the second straight year, the most recent win in Minnesota was 1992. So they don't play well. But Sam Darnold's playing well. He's resurrected his career. It's looking good right now. So far, so good. That was a surprising win that I didn't expect to happen. I expect the 49ers to win. I didn't do well with the picks of the week. I was 2-3. And one of the losses was that game between the 49ers and the Vikings. And I was very, very surprised that they lost that game. Very surprised. Other thing game that's surprising was the Giants, man. The Giants lost to it shows you that when you're a bad team, you're just gonna find ways to lose in some strange way. The thing about the Giants is that their kicker was hurt. But the thing is with the Giants is that they should have won this game anyway because they had 3 touchdowns scored. Daniel Jones played much better. Played much better. Threw for 2 touchdowns. Malik Davis had over 100 yards receiving. But the thing is, he dropped a bad catch, a pass that should have been caught on 4th down, and he dropped it. And they did their part on defense. You know what I'm saying? They gave up a lot on the ground to Robinson, but overall, they did not allow offensive touchdown. That's pretty good defense that you're playing when you don't allow offensive touchdown. But the Commanders of Washington still won. They kicked 7 field goals by Austin Seibert. The defense of the Giants did their job. It's just that they didn't do enough to win, which is strange. I saw a stat where the Giants are the second team in NFL history to number one have 3 touchdowns, allow field goals, 7 field goals, and still lose the game. They're the second team to do that. That's crazy. When you score 3 touchdowns, your defense holds the opponent to no touchdowns and field goals, 7 field goals. You're supposed to win that game. I saw it somewhere, some website. That was a great nugget of a stat. I'm gonna read 2 days like the second team. So like score all the touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Don't allow any offensive touchdowns. Allow 7 field goals and still lose. But when you're a bad team, this is what's going to happen to you. Bad teams find a way to lose. See, the good teams, the solid teams will find a way to win a game like that. When you have 3 touchdowns offensively, your defense do their job. and don't allow a touchdown. From a defensive standpoint, you didn't allow a touchdown, holding the field goals. You did your job, and you still lose. So I'm getting into that stat real quick. Bear with me, I'm trying to find it. So I saw that stat somewhere. I know, read it because I want to read you the first team to deal with something like that, to blow a lead, to have it's 3 touchdowns. Yeah, here it is. The Giants, or the second team, they were the second team in NFL history to score 3 touchdowns, allow 0 touchdowns, and still lose. They're the second team to be part of the wrong side of history. Score 3 touchdowns, don't allow a touchdown defensively, and still lose the game. It was only the second time that this happened. You got to go back to 1989, 35 years ago, when the Vikings beat the Rams 23-21. The Vikings kicker Rich Carlos hit 7 field goals in regulation, while the Rams scored 3 touchdowns and 3 extra points to make it 21-21 at the end of the fourth quarter, but the Vikings scored a safety to win it in overtime. Crazy. All right, quickly, let's get into it. And the time is running out. It's 9:45, so I got a lot to speed up the tempo. So I want to get out of here before 10 or by 10. But just going over the games in the NFL. Get this thing quickly done. Back to the NFL. So that's the storyline with the Giants. It's halftime, 14-3, Jets winning by 11. All right. So that was a surprising, win for the Commanders to be the team that had 3 touchdowns and allowed offensive touchdown. Still lose. I was kind of surprised that the Bucks beat the Lions. Give credit to the Buccaneers for winning this game. They go 2-0. Uh, defensively, they did a great job against the Lions, holding them 16 points. And Detroit defensively played good. Aiden Hutchinson had 4.5 sacks. Baker Mayfield ran for a touchdown, threw a touchdown pass. Not gaudy numbers, but effective as he led the team in rushing. Godwin had 117 yards receiving, but bad loss for the Lions. To lose a game like that at home in a rematch. I thought they'd be flying. I was dead wrong on that. But Aiden Hutchinson's defensive lineman for the Lions had 4.5 sacks. So that's impressive, even though they lost. Yeah, 4.5 sacks. He had 3 sacks in the first quarter. He finished with career high 5 sacks. Let's look into that. I thought it was 4.5 sacks. If you average it out, that's leads to 5 sacks, but 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 4 solo, 5 tackles overall. I was surprised by that win. The Cardinals, man, the way they beat the Rams are banged up. They got a lot of injuries, but I was surprised that they won by a score of 41-10. I was kind of surprised by that result. But the thing is, Marvin Harrison Jr. showed why he was a high draft pick. Caught 2 NFL touchdowns, looked great. Showed why he's gonna be a great wide receiver. 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. They won 41-10. That was kind of surprising. But again, the Rams are banged up. No Cooper Cup. Well, he did play left in the second quarter with an ankle injury, didn't return. But they dealing with a lot of injuries the first 2 weeks. Key players on injury reserve. So, but that was still a surprising result. See what else in the NFL quickly. Not really. Yeah, the Eagles lose to the Falcons, man. That was a surprise. Obviously the Bengals and the Chiefs, that was a close game. The Chiefs, got bailed out with the pass interference call, and they was able to win 26-25. And the Texans beat the Bears 19-13. May have to go over 10 o'clock. But anyway, Harrison Butler hit a 51-yard game-winning kick after the penalty on fourth down and 16. I mean, the Bengals had a chance to just make a stop. That's all they had to do, just keep uh, the Chiefs from converting on fourth down. But you get, a pass interference call. A game that, Bengals had a chance to win, and they fell short. Joe Burrow threw for 258 yards, two touchdowns. Now the Bengals are 0-2, and they come up empty. So that's what they got to deal with. They got to find a way to get out of that 0-2 hole that they're dealing with right now. But fourth down and 16, you got to find a way to make a stop. You can't interfere with no uh, receiver in that situation. You got to find a way on fourth down. Fourth down, 16. Throw a flag. Yeah, but let's get to the this past Monday night's game. This is a shocker, man. The Eagles lose to the Atlanta Falcons 22-21. And the thing that stands out is Saquon Barkley, man. He had a chance to ice the game if you would call a pass from Jalen Hurts. The game would have been over, but he dropped it. But give credit where it's due to Kirk Cousins and his Atlanta offense. He threw a touchdown pass to Drake London for 7 yards, a last minute drive, and they were able to win the game. But Saquon Barkley dropped a short pass that stopped the clock with 146 to go and forced the Eagles to settle for a field goal instead of a game sealing first down. That was a key part of that game. You catch that, they win that game. Simple. That seals the deal if he just makes that catch. Oh yeah, also the Cowboys, man, get blown out like they did to the Saints, man. The Saints are looking very good so far, 2-0 on the season as they win a score of 44-19. Carr's playing very well, resurrecting his career, looking better, looking like he's supposed to look coming from the Raiders. Alvin Kamara showing why he's one of the best backs whenever he's healthy on point. But that's the thing that stands out in that game is what they did to the Cowboys, just doing their thing, just making plays in the passing game, downfield. But the standout thing is that Kamara had 4 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns in this game, and it ended the 16-game home winning streak in the regular season for the Cowboys as they go into Dallas and win. 3 touchdowns rushing for Alvin Kamara, 115 yards rushing, 20 carries, 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdown passes by Derek Carr, excuse me, and they win the game. So very impressive. Very impressive win by the Saints, who are now 2-0. Right, so let's get into quickly. Yeah, I'm about to go after 10 o'clock, so I got to still cover the baseball, read the book, 101 memorable home runs, and get to obviously my picks of the week for the NFL, and then get into on this day in sports history for September 19th. So far from done, so I'm probably have to go over 10 o'clock today. Okay, let's get into the games for this week 3. Got some interesting games, man. You got the Chargers and the Steelers. They're both 2-0. Um, the Vikings and the Texans, that's a 2-0 matchup. That's good game. Saints and the Eagles, that's a good game. Um, Another good game that stands out this week. Ravens and the Cowboys, that's an interesting game. The Lions and the Cardinals, that's an interesting game. And the Chiefs and the Falcons, that could be an interesting game because you have a scenario where um, the Falcons won this past Monday night, so that it makes more interest brings more interest to this matchup against the Chiefs. The Chiefs not looking good. They're not looking like themselves. Kelsey has not gone off to a great start this first 2 weeks of the season, but they 2-0 though, but they're not unbeatable. They are unbeatable. They are vulnerable. In two Monday night games, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Bills, and you got Washington Commanders against the Bengals. All right. So get into my picks of the week for last week. I was 2-3, so I didn't do so good. I was 2-3 last week, so I am 6-4. I picked the Giants over the Commanders. I was wrong on that game. Lions over Buccaneers, I was wrong. 49ers, Vikings, I was wrong. Two games I was right was the Jets over Titans, Texans over Bears. That was it. Now let's fast forward to week 3. I got the Giants over the Browns. The Giants got to win this game. This is a season saver. They have to win this game. The Browns are not that great, despite beating Jacksonville 18-13. Not impressed with them. I think the Giants got to win this game. I think they will. Ravens over the Cowboys. Some got given this matchup. Obviously, the Cowboys got blown out at home, but the Ravens must win this game. It's their season. They're 0-2. They can't afford to go 0-3, especially in that division with Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. So Baltimore will beat the Cowboys. Eagles over the Saints. I don't think the Saints are that good. They look good right now, but I expect the Eagles to bounce back. I think the Eagles over the Saints. The Texans over the Vikings. The Vikings playing good, but I don't think they're better than the Texans. I love the Texans to win this game. And then I got the Lions to bounce back strong against the Cardinals. I think they'll bounce back and play better and win against the Cardinals on the road. So those are my picks of the week. Right, quickly get to some baseball talk. Season's winding down. You already got a few teams that are already qualified for the postseason already. The Yankees are in the postseason. Also, you had record-breaking day. Uh, Shohei Ohtani became the first 50-50 player. That means he had 50 home runs, hit 50 home runs, and stole 50 bases. So he did it today against the Miami Marlins as they won 20-4. So it was a record-breaking day, historic day for baseball for Ohtani to do his thing and make it happen. So that's congrats to him, becoming the first player to be part of 50-50 club in his own right, the only 50-50 player, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases, man. Definitely has lived up to the hype in dominant fashion. And it clinched the postseason berth. So I was got like, 10 RBIs? Let's see. Yeah, he hit 3 home runs, stole 2 bases, had 10 RBIs. Yeah, he had 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. All right, so that's it, man, for that. Let's look into the standings. Again, the Yankees clinched. I think the Brewers, they won their division. So the Yankees are in. Like Cleveland is in. Houston has not clinched yet. Philly has not clinched yet. The Mets are only 6 games out, but that looks like they may get that wild card. We'll see. Milwaukee clinched their division. And Dodgers clinched a berth, postseason berth. Let's look at the wild card scenario. Baltimore is in first place. The National League, San Diego was in first place. With the Mets right there in the thick of it. So the Yankees are back in the playoffs. Last year they didn't make it. They missed out, so they clinched a playoff spot. So they went over the Mariners in 10 innings. All right, so let's look into the baseball book that I've been reading for a long period of time. Yeah, I'm going past uh, 10 o'clock. So read some excerpts from this book, 101 Memorable Home Runs in Baseball History. Then after that, get right into the this day in sports history. September 19th will be done tonight. Trying to find the book. Bear with me. Trying to find it. No, it's not here. It's bear with me. I don't take long with this book. Trying to find it. Keep things moving with this book. Let's see. Okay, let's get into it. We're gonna read like two chapters. Start with Mel Ott, small man with a big bat. Things have to do with 1933 World Series. That Mel Ott hit a home run. So his home run ended up deciding the 1933 World Series. The Giants' first World Series win in 11 years. It's another big hit in Mel Ott's unsung career. He was called Master Melvin. Led the National League in home runs 6 times. He finished second 7 times. He was a home run. All right, so number 44, number 43, home run Baker, live bat in dead ball era. His name was John Franklin Baker, under nickname home run by hitting home runs on consecutive days of two Hall of Famers in 1911 World Series against the New York Giants. He hit the first home run at Philadelphia Rashad Park. It may not be what landed him on this list. So he hit a home run at Rashad Park. It was the 10th home run in World Series history. Yeah, that's what it is. Right, number 42, Ken Keltner, historic clout from renowned gloveman. That's number 42, the 42nd memorable home run. Get out of here. 4-10 about 10. Let's just go over the games in the NFL. All right, so that's the breakdown. Number 42, Ken Keltner. Let's break down why he's on this list real quick. That'll be July 17, 1941. Might be wrong with that. At Boston's Fenway Park in the do or die game on October 4th, Keltner hit one of the most important home runs in team history. The score was tied at 1-1. That's basically it. Yep. Maybe that's what the home run is talking about. So keep moving. Johnny Bench, number 41. This will be the last one before I get into the understanding sports history. Johnny Bench clutch home run from game's best catcher. Let's see what stood out. Okay, it's the National League Championship Series. Was extended to 5 games, so Pirates was clinging to a 3-2 lead. Ace reliever Dave Jewitsky was the ace reliever, so he pinched to bench, got ahead on the 1-2 count, pitched then powered a soaring fly ball deep, a foul into the red seats of this upper deck. And then on the next pitch, he hit another fly ball, this one to right. It barely landed over the right field wall. The game was tied. So that was the most important home run in his career as a clutch catcher. Now Michaels did the game. He was a play-by-play man at the time for Cincinnati Reds. It was Johnny Bench's most clutch home run as they won the game. All right, so that's it. So I'll be back next week for number 40. It was the 40th memorable home run. So that's the quick recap of that. So let's quickly get into the honest day in sports history for September 19th. Before I close out, I'll see I'm over 10 o'clock. Used to be stopping at 10 o'clock. Used to. That's all right. Okay, understanding sports history. Let's get into it, man. For September 19th, I'm gonna read all the events that took place. What stood out to me. So let's get into it. Hopefully, you enjoyed tonight's show so far. Like I said, went over what I usually do. We're trying to close out with this last segment. Here we go. Here we go. Finally. All right, we're gonna start with September 19th. The first event that stood out was on 1876. Talks began to set up a football club in Ottawa. Okay, and September 19th, 1901, 11 baseball games were canceled due to the funeral of President William McKinley. 1931, Lefty Grove wins his 30th game of the season over White Sox in 2-1. That was on September 19th. On September 19th, 1933, the New York Giants clinched their the pennant. On September 19th, Jackie Robinson, 1947, was named 1947 Rookie of the Year. 1955, September 19th, the slugger of the Cubs, Ernie Banks, hit his record 5th Grand Slam of the season. September 19th, 1968, Major League Baseball Detroit Tigers pitcher Denny McLain 31st win of the season, despite Mickey Mantle's 135th career home run at Tiger Stadium in Detroit. Frank Robinson, 1973 on September 19th. Um, Angels outfielder homers in record 32nd Major League ballpark, Arlington Stadium, against the Rangers. Let me check that. Did he play for the Angels? Frank Robinson? That's interesting. Just want to double check that because sometimes there'll be some incorrections sometimes. Yeah, he did play for the California Angels. 1973, 1974. Just want to double check that. Okay. All right, so let's get back to the events. 1973, September 19th, the National League refused to allow San Diego Padres to move to Washington, D.C. September 19th, 1982, New Orleans Saints' first road shutout victory by beating the Chicago Bears 10-0. Joe Crowley of the Chicago White Sox, 1986 on September 19th, pitched a no-hitter against the California Angels, winning 7-1. September 19th, 1988, American diver Greg Louganis smashed his head on a diving board during the 3 meter springboard preliminaries at the Seoul Olympics, recovers to qualify for the final, which he wins the following day. 1992, September 19th, Barry Bonds joined Willie Mays, Howard Johnson, and Ron Gant as having two 30 home run, 30 steal Major League Baseball seasons. 1993, September 19th, San Diego Chargers kicker John Carney booted 6 field goals in the 1817 win over Houston to set a new NFL record with 29 consecutive field goals made. Tommy Glavine, 1993, on September 19th, wins 20 games in 3 straight years. Andres Galarraga, Colorado Rockies of 1995, September 19th, became the 14th member to hit 30 home runs in the season. 1995, September 19th, Major League Baseball history, San Diego Padres Ken Caminiti switch hits home runs in third of 4 games. 2000, September 19th, Ken Griffey Jr. pinch hits his 400th home run, becoming the first Major League player to reach the mark as a pinch hitter. 2004, September 19th, November, Oakland Raiders wide receiver Jerry Rice, his NFL streak of 274 consecutive games with a reception in 13-10 victory over Buffalo Bills. Greg Max in 2008 pitched his 5,000th career inning against the San Francisco Giants. And finally, in 2017, September 19th, Kansas City Royal Alex Gordon hit home run number 5,694, setting a Major League Baseball record for the most home runs in the season. 5,694 fourth home run. That was a record at the time for the most home runs in the season. Right, so my time is up. I went over longer than I expected, but hopefully you enjoyed tonight's show. I'll be back next week for the 20th episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell. I hope you enjoyed everything I talked about quickly. You can check out the article that I wrote. I covered the NFL, college football, stuff like that. You can check it out on E52, 5280sports.com. Check it out, 5280sports.com. I have an article that's written, it's already posted up on the website, so check that out when you get a chance. Check out the article, E5280sports.com. That new article that I wrote last week, it's already up, so check it out. It's covering the NFL, everything NFL and college football. Check that out when you get a chance. Check out the article. So that's it for the show for tonight, man. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's show. And I'll be back next week. Yeah, the week that was, college football week 2, week 1, stuff like that. Check that out. The article's already up. Check it out. So I'll be back next week for the 20th episode, the final episode of the month of September, to end of September. So as we continue to move forward in this show and this journey on Elevation 52A Sports and Lifestyles, streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So that's it for the show. Until then, talk to you next time, next Thursday night for the final episode of the month of September from 9 p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyles, streaming live on Facebook, always on Facebook, always on YouTube, and on Twitter. Until then, talk to you next Thursday night. Good night.